call this meeting to order. The roll call, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Here.
Caledonia.
Here.
Canisius.
Here.
Geneseo.
Here.
Groveland.
Here.
Lester. Lima.
Here.
Livonia.
Here.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Here.
Nunde. Ashen.
Here.
Portage.
Here.
Sparta.
Here.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Here.
York.
Here. I'd like to ask North Dansville Supervisor Dennis Mayes to please lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some meeting minutes for your consideration of our last regular meeting, the 17th of November. Does anyone have any suggestions or changes to these draft minutes? Hearing none, I look for a motion in a second, please.
Move Schuster. Second, Lester.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, that's carried. Communications, next, please, Michelle.
The next conversation with the county will be held on Tuesday, January 11th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the Nunde Town Hall. Receipt of acknowledgement letter from Senator Borrello regarding resolution number 2021-367. The January Human Services and Public Services Committee meetings will be held on January 4th and January 5th respectively. The county historian will be placing a time capsule in the county treasurer's safe with a brief dedication ceremony following today's board meeting.
Thank you. I will mention, we have several new faces in the crowd this afternoon. On some of these action items that we will have this afternoon, there may not be a lot of discussion on it, but generally, the majority of the resolutions that come before this board go through committee where there's a lot of discussion and they're voted on in committee. We do have two abstract of claims for consideration this afternoon.
Mr. Pangrazio, approving abstract of claims 11B, November 24th, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I move this abstract of claims and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Pangrazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this abstract of claims? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Approving abstract of claims 12A, December 8th, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I move this abstract of claims and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Pangrazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this abstract of claims? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted.
Next, we have several resolutions that are going to be on the preferred agenda.
Appointing members to the Livingston County Board of Health, Carol Carey, Aaron Farney, MD, and Marilee Walker. Appointing members to the Livingston County Community Services Board, Elaine Buzzanati, Tracy McCackey, and Marilee Walker. Appointing members to the Livingston County Community Services Board subcommittees, Deb Tuckerman, Carol God Save, Joe Galante, Charles Keenan, and Tracy McCackey. Appointing members to the Community Initiatives Council, Timothy Cornell, Wendy Howell, and Lindsay Quintalone. Appointing members to the Livingston County Planning Board, C. Joan Crunden, Sarah Santora, Jared Radisi, April Mack, Don Kane, Dennis Neenan, Dawn Anderson, Kevin Fahey, and John Yunker. Adopting the following policies pertaining to cybersecurity for Livingston County. And reporting names for the memorial page for the 2021 proceedings. For this one, I will be calling the towns for you to let me know if any supervisors passed this year. Avon,
None.
Caledonia,
None.
Canisius,
None.
Geneseo,
None.
Groveland,
One. William Carmen.
Lester, Lima,
1, Lance Passage.
Livonia,
None.
Mount Morris, North Dansville,
None.
Nunde,
I have one, Richard Jake Essler.
Ashen,
1, Charles Potter.
Portage,
None.
Sparta,
None.
Springwater, West Sparta,
None.
York.
None.
The only additions that I have is for Lester, John F. Douglas Jr.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I do know that Nora Buckley passed away in the town of Springwater this past year, so
Thank
just
you.
one more to remember.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the resolutions that are presented in the preferred agenda? Hearing none, I look for a motion and a second to move for a vote on the preferred agenda.
Lester.
Geneseo.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. A roll please on the preferred agenda. Michelle?
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland, Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris, North Dansville, Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage,
Aye.
Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater, West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted.
Move into resolutions that are going to require a separate roll call vote.
Mrs. Walker, authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation, Excel Staffing Solutions LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris, North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage,
Aye.
Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater, West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Department of Health. Renee Fragaman, Genesee County, Town of Lima, Say2 Rural Health Network, there are 2. Vaneski and Company, there are 2. And Western New York Speech Language Pathology OT and PT Consultants, PLCC, doing business as clinical associates of the Finger Lakes.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or discussion on these contracts? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris, North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage,
Aye.
Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Department of Social Services. Susan Ayad, Casa Trinity, Inc. There are two. Catholic Charities, Steuben, Livingston. Catholic Charities Family and Community Services. Center for Disability Rights. David Corin, Ph.D. Christopher Dion, Ph.D. Head Start Program of Livingston County. Heritage Christian Services, Inc. Hillside Children's Center. Industrial Medicine Associates. Patricia L. Long. Peterson Psychological Services, PLLC. The Fatherhood Connection, and Unlimited Care, Inc.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any question or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, on the roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo. Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the Commissioner of Social Services to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Department of Social Services, Livingston County Health Department, and Livingston County Veteran Services Agency.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, on the roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Office of Workforce Development. Various worksite sponsors.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, on the roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Mr. Knapp, authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for professional services for electricity usage, performance auditing, and bidding for the Livingston County electricity usage. Energy Enterprises, Inc.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, on the roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Department of Emergency Medical Services. Dansville Ambulance, Village of Geneseo Fire Department Ambulance, Village of Lima Volunteer Ambulance, Town of Livonia Ambulance District Number 1, Mount Morris Town Ambulance, and York Ambulance.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any question or discussion on these contracts? Hearing none, on the roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Establishing instructor rates for the Livingston County Emergency Medical Services courses effective January 1st, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Planning Department: Ecologic, LLC, and Geocode. There are two.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll vote please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Sheriff's Office. Zybex Systems, Inc.
Mr. Chairman, this item did not go through committee. However, all committee members present today have signed off on it. Therefore, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this contract? Hearing none, I'll vote please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland. Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Mr. Pangrazio, authorizing year-end 2021 budget amendments.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio.
with the chimes.
Any questions or discussion on these budget amendments? Hearing none, I'll vote please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland. Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing year-end 2021 budget transfers.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Any questions or discussion on these budget transfers? Hearing none, I'll roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Establishing organizational meeting for the year 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Any questions or discussion on this date for our organizational meeting? Hearing none, I'll roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing lease agreement with Stewart Title Insurance Company.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign a lease agreement with the New York State Department of Education, Access VR.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing re-levy of returned school taxes.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing re-levy of unpaid village taxes.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any question or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Increasing the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation private pay daily room and board rate to $400 per day, excluding the New York State cash receipts assessment, effective January 1st, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Awarding bid for custodial services for various Livingston County buildings. Italian U.S. Northeast LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing a supplemental professional services contract for the construction, inspection, and construction support services of a federal state aid bridge replacement project, New York State DOT PIN 4LV003, Dow Road over Bidwell Creek, Town of York, Ravi Engineering and Land Surveying, PC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta. York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Appointing the conflict defender, Hayden M. Dadd.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Grazio. Any questions or discussion on this appointment? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted.
Congratulations, Hayden.
Appointing the public defender, Lindsay P. Quintalone Jordan.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this appointment? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted.
Congratulations, Lindsay.
Amending the 2021 Livingston County Salary Schedule, Department of Health and County Treasurer.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Providing levy for town budgets for 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Directing the Livingston County Real Property Tax Services Director to spread unpaid water charges and unpaid sewer charges on the towns of Springwater and York, 2022 tax rolls.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York. Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Directing the Livingston County Real Property Tax Services Director to spread unpaid water charges on the towns of Avon, Lester, and Mount Morris, 2022 tax rolls.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Is there any question or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Providing for 2022 equalization and apportionment of county taxes.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Ask if there's any discussion on this resolution. Hearing none, I'll roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted. Authorizing the chairman, the clerk of the board, and the real property tax services director to execute Livingston County tax warrants for the collection of taxes December 31st, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Congrazio. Any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia.
Aye.
Mount Morris. North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage.
Aye.
Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1714, absent 295, adopted.
Ian, do you have any updates for the board at this time?
Sure, just a couple, Chairman. First is there's two items that are normally probably 9 times out of 10 in the December board meeting. That would be the capital improvement plan and the department head salary schedule. Those were not yet ready to be advanced out of Ways and Means, so there was no action item for you all to consider today. So we moved those to January. Just wanted to let you know. Secondly, there is after the board meeting and a brief break, we have the shared services panel getting together. We've invited the mayors, so hopefully you can stick around for that. Should be no more than a 5 to 10 minute meeting. We've only got a couple things on the submission for this next year, so please stay if you can. And then finally, it's been a long year, and I guess it's been a long 200 years, but Denny, if you don't know already, you're getting the clock when we. But it's been a great year for the birthday celebrations for the county's bicentennial and all the events and the programs and the activities that we've been able to have happen over the last year. And I want to thank Amy and Holly in the county historian's office for all of their work in conducting that and organizing that and all of those program efforts throughout this year. That's our last board meeting. We've got the scroll and the time capsule to kind of, culminate and cap off literally all of our efforts. So just wanted to recognize and thank them for all their efforts this last year and the bicentennial work as far as celebration goes. Michelle reminds me there's T-shirts for sale too for the bicentennial. Thank you, Michelle. And that's all I have as far as my updates, Chairman.
Thank you. We've got a couple scheduled items on our other business. Before, I'll ask, is there any members of the Board of Supervisors who have any other business to bring before the board this afternoon before we do these other two items? Hearing none, we're going to first recognize it's the end of a long career of North Dansville Supervisor Dennis Lance. I'd just like to ask Dennis to come up and the presentation, maybe say a few words. Be appropriate.
Well, all kidding aside, Danny, yeah, you are getting the clock. So it reminded us a few times that you were getting the clock during the board meeting. But on behalf of the board, myself, and all the department heads and the county staff, I wanted to thank you for all of your years of service, certainly at the town of North Dansville, but importantly and selfishly for me, as the county of Livingston, and your work on the Board of Supervisors, your work in chairing committees, participating in lots of different activities. From here all the way to Denver, and Denny participated with us at our All-America City presentation, so we had to dust off our, theater and play participation skills during that event. But all the way including attendance at meetings, participation, pragmatism, always very practical and fair, and always participating, and very much a voice that we all appreciate hearing, and want to thank you for all those years of service on behalf of all of us. So thank you. Thank you.
I'd also like to say a couple words. I've been chairman for 4 years now, and all 4 years, Dennis has been my vice chairman, and very supportive, and did a great job of representing the constituency of Livingston County, as well as particularly the town of North Dansville. And certainly, I'll certainly miss him. When he talked about not rerunning, I wish that he would, and encouraging him to keep going, but also understand, reasons why it's at the stop. So certainly, I also told Denny that, our meetings are open to the public. We have an organizational meeting January 3rd. We have a committee meeting the 4th and the 5th. So you're welcome to come on up and be part of the process. But no, very, very meaningful to me to have a very supportive vice chairman, and wish Ann and Dennis the best in the future. And hope you're not a stranger to us, and just thank you again so much. So.
If I can get through this. Ian, thank you for your kind words. David, thank you for your trust in me. Vice Chairman. Michelle, Shannon. Ashley, thanks for all you do. When I first came here, Ivan was here, and Jerry been here about 4 days. Other than that, the rest of them are all newbies. One other person that I saw come in the room earlier, I worked with her at my prior job. I'm going to age her, but that was over 30 years ago, and she's still working for the county. Thank you, Lynn. Board members, department heads, county employees, it has been a pleasure. I have some important people that are here today. My wife, Ann, 54 years next week. And yes, we're still on the honeymoon. My son, Paul, my son, Robert, daughter, Crystal, and my youngest granddaughter, Carly Ann. I love you guys. I'm blessed with 5 grandkids, 7 great grandkids. The newest born Monday evening. And mother and daughter doing fine. That will be our first adventure next year. Not attending meetings. There have been some trying times, but as I leave, I will only concentrate on the positive. When I started this trip, I was a 2-year member of the North Dansville Town Board, and the supervisor was removed from office. The replacement was needed. I offered my services for what was supposed to be 1-year term. I'm ending 22 years. I've been involved in many projects with my board members, department heads, and county employees, both past and present. You've seen the Hamptons Corner complex grow, the 2 skilled nursing facilities downsized, the 1 beautiful center for nursing and rehabilitation, with committee meetings being held in the construction trailer on the hill. the renovation and upgrading of many buildings and facilities at the Murray Hill Complex. Jail is another project which included trips to Albany either by air or by riding with the sheriff. Yes, both of these I'd consider flying. That was a past sheriff. And Jerry can attest to that. Since I have been here, the team has made a better place for the people we represent. To our employees, county residents are able to receive services from birth to end of life and anywhere in between. I commend our employees for their continued dedication in these difficult times. When you fail to continue to learn, it is time to move on. I'm still learning, and what I learned was it was time to go. And I am leaving on my own terms. The train has arrived at the station. It is time to get off. I wish all my fellow county employees continued success and good health. Keep smiling. Thank you for this ride. God bless and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Do have a clock that we're gonna. There is a plaque in honor of Dennis P. Mayes with sincere appreciation for 21 years of dedicated and outstanding service to Livingston County. January 1st, 2000, December 31st, 2021. So, and the other thing we forgot to mention, we're gonna have some cookies and a little, like, gathering just behind, out in the lobby, but we've got a short caucus and Joe's got a shared service, but I encourage everybody to please, visit with Denny and his family. Welcome, glad the family came up to support, really nice, and we wanna just, after we did these couple of small things, we can, I hope everybody would please stick around and wish Denny well and thank him for everything. So thank you very much for everything.
All the clock works. If you were to have the cookies, I wouldn't eat so much for one.
You're welcome. So we do have this very brief Republican Democratic caucus we can assemble in the room 303, is it A or B, one of the two. Then we'll just come back with a report of the caucus, and I believe we covered all the other items, so then we can adjourn the meeting, and that's how we'll go with it. I guess we don't have to, yes, we'll do the caucus thing right now. We'll come back and and then we'll adjourn the meeting. So this was just for the,